Hey guys, it's Ben Chan. I literally have like 15 minutes to make this video. I got one take. My kids are coming home. We're going on a trip tomorrow. Be gone for like a week. So here goes. This is a video that I'm going to make for my student Landon, who I've been teaching for about 10 years. He is now an adult and kind of like a peer now. So we are working on the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. So let's get started. So I'm just going to talk about some techniques that I use for this piece, and Landon, here we go. Okay, so something I should probably point out here. First of all, when you're about to play a piece, you actually have a little bit of an advantage, which is that you can just tap your finger like this, and you can tell if you're on the right pitch. Like I can actually literally hear this. Okay, so when I start off, the shifting, I actually, long story, I'll make it very short. I learned how to shift wrong, and I had to relearn how to shift. And so the way that I relearned how to shift is like this. So I am shifting, and I have a video on shifting, by the way. But I'm using my arm to pull my hand along. I'm not moving my fingers, which was part of the problem that I had before, but I'm actually using my arm to pull my hand forward. The muscles in your arm are pretty good, like they have a pretty good memory. And so if you use your arm to pull, it's a lot easier than trying to move all these little like micro muscles to get to the place that you need to go. And if you practice it enough times, then that third position becomes very natural. So when I go for this first shift, so I go to the fourth position and then pop my fourth finger down, like that. And that gives me a really clean shift. Same thing here, I'm going up to the sixth position. And I'm just memorizing what it feels like in my arm to pull my hand to where it needs to go. So the other part of this that I should probably point out is the hand frame. Now, Landon, we talk about this a lot, is when you have a hand frame in first position, you have a hand frame in third position, and that hand frame is forming an octave. So as long as you're forming an octave every time that you go, let's say fourth position, you see it's not always perfect, but pretty close. So I go up to here. As long as I'm forming that hand position, it doesn't matter where I am on the violin. As long as I land into the correct Landon, I've done this before, into the correct spot, then I will form an octave and it will sound fine. So and then here, and that's how I know that my fourth finger will land where it needs to go. Coming back down, it's kind of similar. Shifting backwards, a little bit different, but I do also use my arm to go back. Probably my hand a little bit more just because, I don't know, it's harder to go down in my opinion. And so I use a combination of my hand and my arm. But going up, I definitely just pretty much use my arm. And then my hand just slides to where it needs to go. So use this little trick that when you want to shift properly, think of the name Landon. You're welcome, Landon. Okay. So the extensions are a little harder, right? Because you have, and now you're expected to hit up a little bit high. So when I do the hand frame and then I want to extend, I only extend my finger. Everything else stays the same. Arm is in the same spot. All these other three fingers are in the same spot. I'm not moving them at all. The only guy that moves, this guy. Call him the rogue or the maverick. I don't know. Actually, he's not that bad. He's just the pinky. So the pinky can go up here. And so I'm not moving my hand because I want to get all of my other fingers to go into the right spots without throwing everything off. Okay, so that's why I'm doing the extension like that. And then we have the repeat. Okay, I gotta get down to second position. when you have to repeat a note in the same spot, make sure that you use your eyes. Like, sometimes people will let their eyes wander around. Sometimes if they like look at their bow, or look at the audience, which is really weird. And so what you want to do instead is you want to look at your fingers so that you can see where your third finger is, so you can just replace it. And again, I'm using my arm to shift. So although I can see where I need to go, I'm also going into third position, which my arm already knows where to go. So between my sight and my arm feeling, I can get into that spot because it's what I call a dual layer technique. So you're using two different layers of sensory input in order to find where you need to go. And then right here, this is a little bit harder for me, but going to first position. So really be careful. That happens twice here in this passage. Did you catch that? So first, here's the second. Okay. Up to fourth position. Okay, here you have a couple options. I jump to my third finger because I don't really like my pinky, because if I do the pinky there, I just don't get a very good vibrato, just because my pinky, especially with age and not practicing a whole lot anymore, my pinky just doesn't like to vibrate anymore. So, is my pinky getting old too, like me? I guess so. So I like to go, that's just my own personal preference. Okay, so Landon, keep your hand really close, okay? Don't let your fingers get too tall or too far over. Just do it very, just keep your hand really close. Minimize the amount of movement that you're using vertically. And shift with your arm. Okay, I think I'm backwards. And be really careful about your intonation there, because it's easy to kind of throw it off. So, remember that hand position thing, the hand frame that I was talking about? So when you get to those positions, this one of course is a third position and a half, I guess. And then go back down to half position, and then to second position. If you cannot articulate what position you're in, then you probably need to think about it a little bit more, because if you can tell what it feels like and you also know which position you're supposed to be in, then you'll be a lot more accurate. Backwards. Did you see that? I did the little finger thing where I didn't even look at my fingers. I probably should have. Oops. And then third position. So just make sure you know where you are. Third position. And then down to second. Then up to... Now that one's a tricky one. You have to keep all your fingers right next to each other. Now here I'm going up. I'm not jumping, but I'm sliding my arm up to... What position is that? Seventh? And then as I get to seventh position, I also have to remember where my hand frame is. If I do that, then I can immediately go up confidently, because I already know where the hand position is. I've practiced this a lot of times, like a lot of times. So keep your fingers close. Going backwards. Okay, now this part. Use the bottom finger, even though it's a little counterintuitive because you're putting your fourth finger down. So I'm actually using that first finger to get up. And then your favorite, Landon. kind of hard. I don't really have a whole lot for you other than hand frame. Just make sure you know where your hand is supposed to be, okay? All right, how much time do I have? 5 minutes. Oh, good grief. Okay, so we can get through like the second page maybe, and maybe not. And then we'll make another video some other time. So how do I shift on this? Well, interesting. If I use my first finger for that one, where do I go? Well, clearly I'm not doing that. I'm using my second finger because I'm starting on the second finger. Second finger can also be used to determine what position you're in. So here, I know it's my second finger, but I am in third position. And then if I want to go up to fifth position, it's this finger here, not this one. And then you say, well, Ben, you were just telling me that I need to be thinking about my first finger. Well, not all the time. Here's an exception. So I'm going from the B up to the E, and then just popping my fourth finger down. Okay, and then up to the third. I gotta get moving so we can get through this page. Okay, so all of that just kind of, just memorize the sequence of fingers. If you can write down the fingers like in your mind and go, okay, it's 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 4. Dang, you are like insanely genius, because I can't do that. But if you can, awesome. If you can't, then I would practice it in smaller groups, maybe groups of 4, so that at least you can, there's this thing, sorry, I'm gonna go a little off topic with my last few minutes. I watched a video, a show about one of those people that have a super memory. It's like this super long-term memory, and they were describing it as being this walking through a house and identifying pieces of furniture. And as they're going through the furniture, they're placing these ideas or names or whatever they're trying to memorize, like a grocery list. They're placing those things on different parts of the living room or the family room or the dining room, and all these pieces of furniture that they're very familiar with. And so once they do that, they've placed these items, they can actually go back in their mind, walk through their house again in the same order that they placed those items, and pick them back up and go, yes, your name is Joe, and your name is Sue, and your name is Beth. And then when they were doing this thing where they came back in a different order. So he started off memorizing people's names in one specific order, and then they all came back in different order. And he was still able to name them all. What's my point with this tangent? Well, with music, it's similar, where if you have a group of notes, 4 notes, and you give that some sort of identity. Okay, these 4 notes are group A. This group is group B. This is group C. Or this is group, I don't know, turkey, and this is group banana or something, where you have an association with the whole group. Now you have a group of 4, but it's just one item in your mind. So like, let's see. So there's my group banana, my group apple. Let's see. I lost the fruit. There's my other one. Okay, so you get the idea. Now, let's extrapolate a little bit. What if instead of 4 notes, I could identify 8 notes as an apple or a banana or a cucumber or a dish. A dish. That's not a fruit. Anyways, I have no idea what starts with D. But then you can do it with 16 notes. You can do it with 30 notes. You can do it with 60 notes. And pretty soon, I mean, I don't know if I can do this, but pretty soon you can do like an entire piece with 1 note or 3 or 5 or whatever it is. It's a pretty cool technique. And I highly recommend that we do that. I think I have a little more time. If I hear them upstairs, we're going to have to cut this short. Okay, where are we? So it's really hard to get back into where I was, but I know where we are now. So these are the doubles. And poor Landon and I have been really working on this a lot. I commend you, Landon, for all the practicing you've done on this part. It's not easy. So go up to third. And then really be careful about the notes on the D string. Because that's the part that we hear. Because the other one's moving, But the one that is stationary, that's the one that you hear better because we're hearing the note repeated more than the other one. Ooh. Sorry about that miss there. Let me try it again. Now, I'm doing this on camera. I'm not doing any retakes. Like, this is it. This is, if I hit the note, I hit the note. If I miss it, I miss it. I have a pretty high accuracy. And as you can see, it's not perfect. But it's pretty high. And the reason why it's pretty high is because of all of the things I'm telling you to practice. Because if you do it enough times, like 100, like I've probably done that like 1,000 times maybe. So once you do it 1,000 times, 10,000 times, it really gets to be pretty easy. Okay. Oh, we did this exercise, Landon, where we did, is it a minor sixth or a major sixth? So if you measure them out, minor, and the next one is major, minor, major, major again, major, and then minor, and then this is seventh. So if you do that in your mind already, you can be so far ahead mentally before you actually get to that part, or while you're playing it, that you can keep track. And the reason why I can do that, A, I've done it like 1,000 times, and B, I'm thinking about the sequence. It's a minor, major, minor, major, major, right? So major, major, general, whatever that, sorry. Okay, way too many tangents. Okay, then this part here, if you are ever unsure if you're in tune, there's a couple ways you can figure out whether you're in tune, and I really highly recommend this. So playing it against an open string, I don't recommend playing like a tritone. It's kind of hard to tell if you're in tune, but if you do it like a minor sixth, because that sounds pretty good. So make sure that one of the notes is tuned against an open string. I'll also double check to make sure you're in tune. Okay, so and that was all pretty easy because I'm using my arm to shift. Okay. And then now we're way up here. So all of that is in what position? What is that? Fifth? Ah, very good. Fifth position. So hand position, hand frame. Make sure you're forming an octave. I was a little flat there. This one's tricky because you have to walk your first finger down like a half a step on each of these. And then back up a half step. So as you can see, I saw that coming because I've practiced it like 1,000 times. And then, okay, so that one's another like really good hand frame. So if you want to make sure you're in tune here, figure out which position you're in. Fifth position. So, see. Then back down to third position. And there's our little extension that I was talking about before, where he's like the little rogue, the little maverick. Don't let him pull your whole hand into a different position. You see my little shift there? I flipped my first finger into the spot where the other one was. Again, not looking. I know I'm not listening to my own advice. And I'm afraid we have to stop there. Yeah. I think I can hear some people, so I have to lower my voice now. Thank you for watching. One last thing. Take a look at the notes to this video if you're interested in what I'm doing next. But I'll still be here, so I'll see you next time.